GS1 operates under the GS1 competition law caution. Strict compliance with competition laws is and always has been the policy of GS1. The best way to avoid problems is to remember that the purpose of the group is to enhance the ability of all industry members to compete more efficiently. This means there shall be no discussion of prices, allocation of customers or products, boycotts, refusals to deal, or market share. If any participant believes the group is drifting towards impermissible discussion, the topic shall be tabled until the opinion of counsel can be obtained. The full caution is available via the link below if you'd like to read it in its entirety.
Welcome back. I hope you've enjoyed your quick break. You've grabbed a coffee and you've got your comfortable, because up next we have Stephen Oguli, our Healthcare Standards Executive here at GS1 Kenya. With 2 years of dedicated service in the healthcare sector, Stephen has been at the forefront of traceability systems that are crucial for patient safety and effective treatment. Stephen's presentation today is titled Track and Treat. He will delve into how traceability in the healthcare industry is not just about tracking products, but about ensuring that patients receive safety and effective treatments. From pharmaceuticals to medical devices, Stephen will show us how traceability is revolutionizing healthcare practices. So let's give a warm welcome to Stephen.
Thank you so much for the introduction. Hello everyone. As introduced, my name is Stephen, in charge of healthcare standards at GS1 Kenya. I will be doing a presentation on track and treat. Now, what is track and treat? Track and treat is the ability to trace healthcare products and patient information across the healthcare supply chain. By doing this, we are able to ensure that this information or the data about the products and patient is accurate and precise. Why track and treat? By being able to track healthcare products and patient information, number one, we can enhance patient safety by ensuring that the patients or the right patients receive the correct treatment at the right time. Secondly, we can reduce medical errors. Accurate tracking of medications and medical devices also minimizes that is the chances of administration errors and further enhance patient safety. Now, last but not least, improve supply chain efficiency. We can optimize inventory management, reduce waste, and also ensure that the timely availability of medical product, thus improving supply chain efficiency. Next, let's talk about the GS1 data matrix. GS1 data matrix is a two-dimensional barcode capable of encoding a large amount of data in a compact format. It is also important to note that it is part of the GS1 system of standard, specifically designed to enhance traceability and accuracy in the healthcare sector. GS1 data matrix has got several features and benefits. Number one, it has high data density, which means it is capable of storing large amount of information such as product identifiers, batch number, and even the expiry date. Secondly, in terms of scalability, it can be applied to small items, making it ideal for medical products. The third point, we can also use it for error detection because it includes error correctional features, ensuring data integrity, even if the barcode is partially damaged. Last but not least, global standardization. Global standardization means that this GS1 data matrix is universally recognized and used, which means it can facilitate international traceability and regulatory compliance. Now, let's understand how the GS1 data matrix works. In terms of data encoding and decoding, information such as the global trade item number, or also known as GTIN, batch numbers, and also expiry date is encoded into this data matrix. Now, scanners and software can decode this information, making it accessible throughout the supply chain. Again, in terms of integration into the healthcare system, it is important to note that it can be integrated into electronic health record and hospital management system. This is possible because it can also enable seamless data sharing between manufacturers, distributors, and even the healthcare providers. The GS1 data matrix has got several important applications in patient care. In terms of medication management, the GS1 data matrix can be used to track and trace medications, that is from the production to administration, thereby ensuring that medications are authentic and safe. Last but not least, it can also be used to reduce medical errors by ensuring that patients receive the correct medications as prescribed. Surgical instrument tracking is another vital application for the GS1 data matrix. We can monitor the location of surgical instruments within the healthcare facility. Last but not least, we can also ensure instruments are properly sterilized and maintained, thereby reducing the risk of infections. Accurate patient identification and record keeping are fundamental to effective healthcare. Now, the GS1 data matrix helps to link all relevant patient data, providing healthcare providers with a complete view of patients' medical history. Next, this can also ensure that the information is accurate and up to date, allowing healthcare providers to make informed treatment decisions. At this point, allow me to play a video explaining more on how track and treat is done using the GS1 standards. This will give you a visual understanding of the applications we have discussed.
GS1 standards improve traceability, visibility, and help prevent falsified and substandard medicines reaching patients. As medicines are manufactured, each is barcoded with its identifier, batch number, expiry date, and serial number. The identifier and serial number uniquely identify each instance of the product. When products are packed into cartons, then pallets for shipment, the barcode information is recorded. This captures the contents for each packing level. At delivery, the wholesaler scans the barcodes to validate the correct items have been received and updates their systems. When preparing a shipment for a pharmacy, the wholesaler scans the barcodes to record the items in each package to ensure there are no gaps in the product's life cycle. During receipt at the pharmacy, the barcodes are scanned to validate that the correct items are delivered and to retrieve product history. The unique identifiers encoded in these barcodes allow for verification at the point of dispense to help safeguard against falsified product.
Now, let's talk about UDI. UDI is a system that is used to mark and identify medical devices within the healthcare supply chain. It is important to note that this is only applicable to medical devices but not pharmaceuticals. The definition also varies from one jurisdiction to another or one country to another. It is also important to note that UDI can enhance traceability and safety by ensuring each device can be accurately identified and tracked throughout its life cycle. UDI plays a critical role in the track and trace process of various stakeholders. For manufacturers, it ensures accurate identification and tracking of medical devices from production to patient use. For regulatory compliance, it also facilitates compliance with the global regulatory requirements, enhancing product safety and also transparency. For hospitals or healthcare providers, it improves inventory management, patient safety, and operational efficiency by ensuring the traceability of medical devices. Let's watch another video that showcases the role of GS1 standards in healthcare sector. This video will provide further insight into how these standards are applied and their impact in improving healthcare efficiency and patient safety.
We're making a huge difference in healthcare, saving the health service thousands of lives and millions of pounds by implementing GS1 standards. It's simple. By using unique identification numbers, it's possible to identify every person, every product, and every place. So hospitals can identify every item and patient interaction from beginning to end, from taking delivery of an order to treatment at the bedside, and beyond to aftercare and the sterilization of surgical equipment. Let's follow one patient through their visit to a hospital to see exactly how GS1 standards are used to increase patient safety and efficiency. This is Laura. She needs a hip replacement. She goes to a local hospital for her scheduled operation. A nurse welcomes Laura and gives her a patient wristband. The nurse also performs a medical examination, which shows that Laura's blood pressure is too high. When the nurse scans the GS1 barcode on Laura's wristband, this information is automatically updated to her patient record shown on the screen. The doctor also updates her patient record with the diagnosis. He also prescribes medication and a standard surgical package for the hip operation. The nurse checks the prescription on Laura's patient record to make sure she selects the right medication and the right dose. The nurse also scans the barcode on her own identification card and then scans the barcode on the medication. Because of GS1 standards, there's no need for manual data entry in several different systems, eliminating human error and increasing patient safety. A unique number is allocated for each product, which then makes up a barcode and is linked to data in a central database. The barcode can be scanned at every point of the supply chain, from manufacturer to treating the patient, which enables complete traceability. Before the surgery, the nurse scans Laura's patient wristband and the medication to make sure Laura is given the right treatment, and this is automatically updated onto her patient record. Thanks to this simple procedure, everyone with access to Laura's patient record can see what treatment she has received, at what time, and who dispensed it. Before Laura's hip surgery, the nurse collects the correct surgical package for the operation. When she scans the barcode on the package, the inventory management system automatically records one less in stock. Using barcodes enables you to better manage inventory from a central database, making it possible to control batch numbers and expiry dates. Now, Laura is ready for surgery. Her patient wristband is scanned in the operating theatre and the correct hip implant is retrieved from stock. One of the surgical procedures is to scan the barcode on the implant packaging. The barcode contains important information, including a serial number which is recorded on the patient record. This makes it possible to link a specific implant to a specific patient, increasing patient safety. It also means tracking the product is easy, especially in the case of safety recall, by using GS1 standards. Before leaving the hospital, all the information about Laura's visit is recorded, including a prescription following her successful surgery, which is updated onto her patient record. The pharmacy can access this information on the prescription server, so the medicine is ready for Laura to pick up. At the pharmacy, the pharmacist scans the barcode on the product. The batch number and expiry date of the drug are automatically checked before the drug is given to Laura. A unique number and an individual serial number make it possible to automatically control the product to detect counterfeit products and manage safety recalls. There is a huge amount of information needed in just one patient process. GS1 standards make life easier for everyone by providing a single way of identifying every person, every product, and every place. GS1 standards, saving the health service thousands of lives and millions of pounds.
To summarize this presentation, the track and treat approach is really crucial in enhancing healthcare efficiency and patient safety. The GS1 data matrix and the UDI system also plays a significant role in ensuring accurate tracking, traceability, and regulatory compliances. These systems also have a wide-ranging applications including medication management, surgical instrument tracking, and patient identification. By adopting these standards, healthcare providers can significantly improve their operations and patient care. For further information, please feel free to reach out using the contact details provided in this slide. We are here to assist you and provide any additional information you may need. Thank you for your attention and participation, and I hope you found this presentation informative and useful. I now hand over this to the host for question and answer session.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for that amazing introduction, Stephen. So kindly introduce yourself to our viewers.
Hello, everyone. Once again, Stephen is my name, in charge of healthcare standards at GS1. I welcome you to this interview as well.
Okay, before we begin engaging Stephen, I'd like to remind you that we are live Traceability TV, and also as you head on down there, kindly subscribe to Traceability TV so that you can be able to access all the videos that have been presented throughout the week. Now, to start off, can you tell us a bit about GS1 Kenya and its role in the healthcare sector?
Okay, thank you so much for the question. The general business for GS1 Kenya is traceability and data management. In healthcare, we patient safety and also ensure efficiency in healthcare delivery. To add on top, we also ensure traceability, that is for the products, especially the and devices, the end user business.
So that's you should explain how GS1 standards contribute to.
So maybe we answer this in this manner. We all know that for us to achieve patient safety, we require to have a well-coordinated sectors that includes manufacturers coming in. We have the suppliers, we have the distributors, and we also have the healthcare providers, including the regulators who forms the policies about care. Now, for us to enhance patient safety, all these sectors must communicate seemingly. For example, manufacturers need to provide or accurate and precise information about the product. Now, when we come to the distributors require this accurate information about the product, manage the inventory. Going to the healthcare provider who is now dealing with the patient directly, they also need this accurate information. They can administer quality healthcare to the patient. Now, if we have a discrepancy in all this supply chain, in all this communication, that means that we are not going to achieve the patient safety. So how does GS1 come into this? Like I've said, our core business in healthcare is traceability. GS1 ensures that that information that is communicated about the product from the manufacturer, that information goes up to the end user, who is the patient or maybe the healthcare provider. And that information is precise and accurate. Why is this important? Because when we have accurate information about the product, that means we are able to give our patient the right treatment at the right time.
Okay, so that's quite impressive.
This way. And now, in the Kenyan setup, it is important to note that we are having several initiatives. We tend to work closely with organizations that includes government and non-government agencies. We also work with the healthcare providers, that is the hospitals, pharmacies, and even the clinics. We work in all together so that we can achieve and enhance patient safety. So normally what we do, for instance, in the pharmaceuticals, a good example is the cheating that is used to identify the pharmaceutical products across the supply chain. So that is what we are doing in regards to the initiatives we have in healthcare.
Okay, I'd like to touch on counterfeit products in the healthcare system as well. It's quite important. So how does GS1 Kenya plan to tackle this issue?
Yes, it's very, very true that across the world, Kenya included, counterfeit products or medicines is a really a big challenge to everyone, to every healthcare sector. So, like I told you, our standards normally deals with traceability, and now the GS1 standards in healthcare ensures that we accurately identify the products, that is the medical devices, and also the pharmaceuticals. This is very important. If we identify these products using the GS1 standards, we enhance visibility, and it is also important to note that we will enable the healthcare providers, who are the end users, to get the accurate information about the medicines and also the medical devices. Now, in regards now to counterfeit medicine, this can really help manufacturers, especially manufacturers who are having the GS1 standards in healthcare. Why? Because you as a manufacturer, you will get that visibility across the supply chain. You will see on how your medicine is moving and all that. And then remember, our system is also seamless. You can integrate it into any healthcare system. So that means the manufacturers can accurately communicate with the healthcare providers to ensure that they get the right medicine that was given by the manufacturer. So GS1 is a bigger it provides or plays or rather plays a critical role in ensuring that the end user, who is the patient, gets the authentic drugs which are not counterfeit.
Okay, so before we continue with you, Stephen, I'd like to give a warm shout out to everyone watching on YouTube at Traceability TV, and also remind our viewers that kindly subscribe to Traceability TV so that you can have access to all the sessions and many more that are going to be shown this week. So let's go back to some of the challenges in implementing these standards, and how do you plan to overcome them?
Okay, thank you so much for the question. Now, one of the challenges that we face GS1 healthcare is a lack of awareness. You get that there are people who know about what we do, but they still don't know that we are the people providing. And specifically, that is why we are having such sessions so that we can create that awareness to show you that with GS1 standards, it is very important for you as a manufacturer that you can easily track and trace your products across the supply chain. Two, it is also important to note that with our standards as well, you can also, you as a healthcare provider, that is, you can accurately identify the patient in your premises, that is, if it is a hospital. Two, it is very easy for you to also monitor the movement of patient, that is from administration to the discharge level. So that is very important. So the challenge, like I've said, is that there is lack of awareness. However, we as GS1, we are trying our best through these trainings we are giving. We also do awareness, especially the Traceability TV, which is now anchoring more about healthcare traceability, that is within Kenya and also Africa and other parts of the world.
Okay, so looking to the future, looking ahead, what are GS1 Kenya's goals for the future in the healthcare sector? What do you guys want to achieve?
Okay, like I started by telling you that our mission at GS1 Kenya in healthcare, we plan, or we are already enhancing patient safety. Number two, we are also ensuring that there is we also have proper service delivery within the healthcare sector. And again, we also ensure that there is a traceability of healthcare products and pharmaceutical device, that is from the manufacturer up to the end user. Now, our goal at GS1 Kenya, apart from what I mentioned, is that we want to also spread our wings into other sectors. For example, I'm sure there's a documentary that is going to be played, especially managing funeral services. So apart from the normal thing we're doing, we are also extending our business out there to ensure that in other sectors, apart from specifically on the patient. For example, my colleague in the previous presentation
My colleague had talked about food traceability. Now, in hospital, we also have catering services. Now, how are you sure that the food you are consuming in hospital came from right place? And how sure are you that it passed all the laid principles for a better food in the hospital? So we are also extending our wing, especially in also hospital, in regards to catering services, among others. So I think that is our future. And last but not least, we are also planning to extend our work with the hospitals. We have not reached us or not, we have not reached our hospitals in Kenya, but we plan to reach healthcare facilities that includes hospitals. And number two, we also have manufacturers, which we believe that if they also partner with us, we can enhance patient safety in Kenya and also bring that proper service delivery in healthcare sector. And like I told you earlier, I told you that for us to enhance patient safety, the building blocks of healthcare sectors have to communicate seamlessly. If they don't communicate seamlessly, that means we are not going to enhance patient safety. If the manufacturers don't, if the provide accurate information about the product, that means the end user will not get it right. That is the healthcare provider. Now, when you come to distributor, if he doesn't get the accurate information, that means that they are not going to manage the inventory very, very well.
Okay, thank you so much, Stephen. I want to put a question to our software manager, Joseph. My question is, what role does software play in ensuring the accuracy and security of serial data within the healthcare supply chain, particularly in preventing counterfeiting? Joseph, over to you.
Thank you, Mariam. Well, first and foremost, I would like to say that traceability in healthcare is close to my heart, and I mean to all of us, it is definitely close to our hearts, simply because that we have been able to have people die, including our children die because of medicine that is counterfeited, medicine that is not really up to standards and up to par. But to answer your question, how can we use software or leverage software to be able to promote or reduce counterfeiting first and foremost, and actually just promote authenticity of these drugs and medicine, including medical devices? So the first one I can be able to say, we have a new innovation called GS1 data matrix, which can be able to include more information about the product. So not only the GTIN, as you've been told since yesterday, but other information. So we have the batch numbers, we have the expiry dates, we have the production date. On top of the GS1 data matrix, we have also another layer on top of it, which we call data serialization. So for data serialization is where now that we can be able to even track a particular drug. So for instance, we have a pack of Panadol. We know it comes in like a pack of 12, a pack of 24. It will be sold as that. But now if you want to track and trace up to the single unit or the single SKU, that is where data serialization comes in and be able to authenticate this product. It will also assist in competing, since because the drugs, we can be able to say this serial is not within the global registry of all the products. So from there is where now we can be able to say, using the GS1 data matrix and the GS1 data serialization method and systems involved, since our systems are not just within us, we can integrate with all the other systems in the global space. We'll be able to ensure authenticity and reduce counterfeiting. Back to you, Marianne.
quiet corners of every cemetery lies a story, a legacy, and a memory etched in stone. But what if these final resting places held a darker secret? What if the names engraved on these tombstones do not match the bodies lying beneath? This is the unsettling reality that has haunted funeral homes and grieving families alike for far too long. For decades, the risk of a body mix-up and wrongful burials has been a troubling concern within the funeral industry. Mishandled paperwork, human error, and lack of standardized procedures have all contributed to this heartbreaking phenomenon. But amidst the shadows of uncertainty, a beacon of hope emerges: traceability standards. Traceability standards offer a solution, a pathway to accountability and transparency in the handling of human remains. By implementing meticulous tracking systems from the moment a body enters the care of a funeral home to its final resting place, the likelihood of errors diminishes significantly. Experts from across the globe agree that traceability standards like those offered by GS1 are essential in safeguarding the integrity of the funeral process. Through barcoding, digital records, and stringent protocols, every step of the journey is meticulously documented using GS1 standards, ensuring that each individual is honored with dignity and respect. But the impact of traceability standards extends far beyond the walls of funeral homes. For the families left behind, it offers solace, a sense of assurance that their loved ones are laid to rest with the utmost care. No longer must they fear the unthinkable, the possibility of a mistaken identity, a misplaced body. The journey towards widespread adoption of traceability standards is not without its challenges. Resistance to change, financial constraints, and varying regulations present formidable obstacles. But with each passing day, more and more funeral homes are embracing this vital shift, recognizing its profound impact on both their operations and the lives they touch. The journey towards widespread adoption of traceability standards is not without its challenges. Resistance to change, financial constraints, and varying regulations present formidable obstacles. But with each passing day, more and more funeral homes are embracing this vital shift, recognizing its profound impact on both their operations and the lives they touch. As the sun sets on another day, let us reflect on the importance of traceability standards in preserving the sanctity of life, even in death. For in this age of uncertainty, one thing remains clear: every individual deserves to be laid to rest with dignity, respect, and the assurance that their memory will endure for eternity.
Correct.
Okay, we now take a short break and don't go too far because joining us again at 11 a.m. is a fantastic panel ready to dive into this year's theme on Traceability 2024, revolutionizing industries with traceability. So don't go too far. I'll see you then.
You know, although my company went about it.
But if let's say
Good morning, welcome back. I hope you guys can hear me clearly. Can everyone hear me? If you can hear me, kindly just give me a thumbs up so that we can continue. Can you hear me? Yes.
Nowadays.
Okay, welcome back, and I am so thrilled to introduce to you my amazing panel. They have a wealth of knowledge, and also before we introduce each other, I would like to apologize, my deepest apologies for all the audio technicalities that we're having. We are back now, and I'm telling you, stay tuned. This is going to be a fun session. So let's dive in. I'll start with Nelson so you can introduce yourself so we can get to our panel before we begin. Nelson.
Thank you so much, Marianne, and our viewers live on Traceability TV and Zoom. We appreciate your time. My name is Nelson John Wiro. I'm the team leader industrial engagements at GS1 Kenya.
Morning, everyone. And for those who are not within our time zone, I believe it's good afternoon. So my name is Joseph Polo, currently in charge of software and data, and we'll be delighted to inform you on matters GS1.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rhoda Mose, in charge of fresh foods here at GS1 Kenya. Thank you.
Good morning, Stephen Willis, my name, in charge of healthcare standards at GS1 Kenya. Feel welcome.
Okay, so some of them you've already had them, and others you've now seen them, and now we're all going to sit down. As I said, they do have a wealth of experience and knowledge about everything that has to do with GS1 Kenya standards and traceability. So I'll dive into the first question, and this is going to go to all of you, but I'll begin with Steve. Is how has traceability evolved in your respective sectors, and what are the key benefits it brings to the industry?
Okay, like I said previously on my presentation, traceability is the ability to track and trace healthcare products that is within the supply chain. Now, How has this evolved in within the healthcare sectors? Now, this is what happens. With the GS1 standards, we are able to track and trace the movement of medical products and medical devices, that is from the manufacturer up to the end user, who is the patient.
As for my sector, thank you so much for that good question. In fresh food subsector, in fresh food and eat subsectors, traceability has really evolved, beginning from when people were used to planting their own foods because there were many lands. But right now, people even purchase their groceries at the supermarkets. Now, there's a need for people to know what they're eating in the supermarket, if it is genuinely it, what it says, and who grew it, where, when was it harvested, and many other details. So this raises the question of traceability and the involvement of every person, stakeholder, including the consumers, in the traceability implementation. Thank you.
Well, for myself, I can say it's not one particular sector, but for all the sectors, traceability is a key pillar in all of those sectors, because in all of those sectors, there's counterfeiting, there is substandard products, there is substandard devices, you name it. And that's why we are saying that traceability is key. Now, how do we achieve traceability? First and foremost, by utilizing GS1 standards, which are globally accepted, ISO certified, to be precise on how to be able to track and trace data across all the other sectors. Thank you.
So I'm from the Department of Industrial Engagements, and to look at how traceability has evolved. Industrial engagement, we are into so many to support our members. And one key sector that we have tried to evolve with traceability is transport and logistics. And transport and logistics also involves customs and border control, in that we are enabling persons or members and companies, importers, exporters, have a way of on how to track the logistics that they're transmitting from one point to another. So each one of us has received something. You've gotten a package that delivered to your shop or to your home. You bought that nice gift. So there is need to for a way to trace this package from the journey. So traceability and the use of identifiers has evolved over time, and we appreciate members who are taking the initiative and they are embracing these standards. We are seeing more and more people embracing technology, in that now we have what we call a scan for transport. Scan for transport is an improvement onto the former logistic level. Maybe people who are not understanding what I'm talking about, the logistic level. From the sessions we had with Geoffrey yesterday, where I talked about the evolution of GS1 standards and so on, we have what we call the serial shipping container code. So the serial shipping container code has evolved with the scan for transport. Now that we are using the 2D code, in that we want to enable even the final consumers be able to scan. If you have a smartphone, I believe most of us now have smartphones. Through scan for transport, people are able to scan and verify, where is my package? Where is it coming? Who is transporting it? And so many technologies concerning RFID tags are also enabling this traceability. So transport and logistics and customs and border control, standards like GS1 are evolving around it, data sharing, the EDI messages you hear about. So, and this is the future. You understand, as things are evolving, we are also moving in that dream as GS1 and our members alone.
Okay, so I'll shoot this question to our two IT experts seated in the right corner, because they know everything to do with IT, and I feel like as technologies emerge, they are instrumental in traceability. So can you discuss some unique what role do emerging technologies like blockchain, IoT play in enhancing traceability systems, and how are they being implemented?
Well, first and foremost, thank you for the words of encouragement. We don't know everything about it, since IT is an evolving skill, right?
Yes.
But I can say we know enough just for us to be able to sit in this panel.
Yes.
I believe so. In terms of emerging technologies, I just want to use one or two scenarios. So the first one was in terms of event ticketing systems. Something that is not out of the norm, not what we do, but what I know was done in the past and what is being done now. So for event ticketing, initially it was you had to go and buy a ticket physically, right? That was the first instance, you go and buy a ticket physically. But as time moved along, there was now you could buy online.
But that one wasn't really efficient to begin with. Since you buy online and you go there, it was word of mouth. I also bought online. I also believe these things can be counterfeited or copy pasted. And then now we have the QR codes and the barcodes. That has really, upped the game in terms of traceability of who bought the tickets, who has entered the event, and who has left the event. So now using just the GS1 QR codes with the barcodes, for instance, you can be able to say event ticketing management systems has been greatly improved from past till now. Another one is now in terms of warehouse management. Warehouse management is actually also really key in terms of the sectors as we are trying to implement. So warehouse management previously still goods received, goods stored, goods dispatched. In simple terms, that's what warehouse management is. I'm sure there are many other aspects within it, but now how can we be able to affirm or verify the goods that you have received? That's the first one, right?
Yeah.
I've received a good. Problem is, we can only verify by VIN, but you cannot verify the details, where it came from, manufacturer, batches, and everything else. So that is the first point of entry. And as just one, we can be able to say we have greatly impacted warehouse traceability in terms of receipt of goods. Next is in terms of storage. In terms of storage, initially people used to store anywhere there's free space. In a corner, in you name it, above the ceiling, below the ceiling, you name it. But now, with just one standard, you can be able to use with various standards, be it the barcode or the QR code, in terms of received product X, stored in warehouse X, and stored in a particular rack, just by simple scanning here, scanning there. So in this case, we have reduced a lot of the manual aspects in terms of human involvement, because a lot of human involvement will bring about, not to say the word, but corruption, quote unquote. And then from storage, we move on to dispatch. So from dispatch, how can we be able to say that product X was received, product X was stored in a particular warehouse, product X was stored in a particular rack. Now it is supposed to be shipped out or dispatched to unit, various locations, location-wide. So in this case, also using the GS1 standards, and I believe within the presentations, you had someone presenting SSCC, Serialized Shipping Container. So this is where we come in and we say this code can be able to carry all the information from receipt, storage, and all the other aspects within the warehouse up to dispatch. Once even the person who's receiving from the particular warehouse, once it's been dispatched from the warehouse, can be able to even verify using those standards. Since our standards are globally recognized, and without be able to say that is how we have used these standards for past year.
Okay, that's a clear change.
Yeah, just to add on to what my colleague has said, thanks for the compliment. I'm striving to be among the great IT guys. But from my 7 years with GS1 Kenya, I've seen our standards evolve over time, in that we are getting to support our members in many ways. We have the many members under healthcare who are now embracing the 2D matrix, data matrix.
Yeah.
And at the past global forum with the global office, we try to push that we want to enable even the final patients in the hospitals. When you go and buy a drug, are you able to scan using your smartphone the way you are currently doing when you scan the QR code? So technology is we are looking at supporting people with the gadgets they have. You start with what you have.
Yes.
The other technologies that are really coming up may be far-fetched in our local markets, but we are looking at ways of supporting our local people to be able to scan and then get the information they need. And in the future, in the next coming years, I believe people will be able to scan the data matrix using your own smartphone, the way you're doing the QR code. Sure, yeah.
So I'd like to also remind our viewers that the chat box is open and this is a live discussion. It's a discussion. So you can please feel free to ask any question and I'm very sure that my dapper guests here are ready to answer them. So back to Rhoda and Steve. Okay, people are changing and the world is going and the consumers have more and even better expectations coming from you guys. So how are changing consumer expectations around transparency and sustainability influencing the adoption of traceability solutions in your industry? I'll start with Yoda.
Thank you very much for that. Good question. And I'd say that right now, people are really in need of knowing what they're consuming. In terms of my sector, that is the fresh food sector, they really need to know what they're consuming. This is in terms of where was it grown, what was kept into the produce, that is if it is a pesticide, if it is any type of pesticide that was used, is it harmful to my health? That and many other needs make people want to know, is this a good thing for me to consume? Will it affect me in any way? So this is affecting consumers in a way that they need to know, what am I eating? So that I can be confident in it, so that it can guarantee me food safety.
Yeah.
So that we can see that there's transparency from where it grew, and I can ascertain that it came from there. Yes, so thank you.
Okay, so Steve.
Okay, thank you so much, Miriam. I will answer that question this way. Everyone has gone to the hospital, and anytime you walk into an hospital, you have that right to know what is used to treat you. Now, in this case, our consumers are now the patients, now not in retail, but this is healthcare. Against the patient. Now, in terms of traceability, there is what we call trust. Most hospitals, when the patient walks in, one of the critical things, like I've said, they want to know the process that they underwent through, which is very, very critical in any healthcare setup. So traceability brings that ability in the mindset of the last person, that is the patient, into healthcare. Now, it makes them trust the process by knowing that if this is the prosthetic limb that was used on me, it is very, very easy for me to know where it came from, which doctor used this prosthetic limb on me, which is giving them that assurity into the healthcare process. And this is also important to the healthcare provider. Why? If myself am your patient and I come to your hospital and then you give me better treatment and you assure me that I can know what was used on myself, that means I will be trusting you. I will be trusting you with my money and the clinical processes that you are using on me. So that is very, very important to note that it will help you as a healthcare provider to bring more, we call them consumers, but in our field we call them patients. So they will come. So
that was such an elaborate discussion, and what you offer, the insights were really good. So I'd also like to remind our viewers that yes, we do have Traceability TV. Please head on down there and subscribe to our channel so that you can have access to all the presentations made this week and probably even this discussion. Now, let's go back to our questions. Now, traceability often requires collaboration and across various sectors and stakeholders. So how do you see cross-industry partnerships driving traceability innovations?
Okay, so for us to achieve traceability, ideally, we cannot do it like as one year. Like so, for traceability to happen, maybe to rephrase, you cannot manage the supply chain as one individual.
Yes.
You know, even if I'm producing something, let's say I'm producing pharmaceutical drugs, I cannot be running the entire supply chain. I can't be the person in China buying the drugs. I can't be the person at Mombasa Road with the pharmacy. So there are so many people that are involved in the entire supply chain. So collaboration across the board, as GS1 Kenya, through our engagements, industrial engagements, we are trying to make sure that even the people who are non-brand owners that are using the standards get to understand, how can I better benefit from these standards? Because our members are doing a great job. So many manufacturers are using the standards whenever they are packaging their goods, they are putting on the codes. But then are the other people along the chain using the codes. So we noticed there was an information gap. Maybe people need more information. So through our engagements and things like Traceability Week, right here, Traceability TV, we are bringing in stories so that everyone across the board understands that the barcode I use at the supermarket is not just for the retail people, but I can use the same code in my warehousing. I can use the code for my logistics, even if I'm a person from the tax authority, you can use this code to verify the goods at the point or at the border points. If I'm importing something to Uganda and I have my codes, the people at the border control need to be able to scan this SSC code and know more. So collaboration across the board is really important for us to achieve traceability, because the essence of traceability is being able to know where something is coming from, where it has passed and where it has reached, and being able to move backwards. If I bought a drug as a patient, I'm not a patient and I don't pray to be so. But as a consumer of this medicine, I need to understand who manufactured this drug. So I'm also using the standard and knowing them, So collaboration is key. And through various bodies and engagements, we feel we are going to push further as industrial engagements and with the media team to bring these stories and discussions on traceability. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll begin with the GS1 first and foremost is we are not for profit.
Yes.
So with that, I can say in terms of collaboration, that is part of our pillars, our key values, teamwork, collaboration, and you name all the rest. So we do three things in GS1. We identify, we capture, and we share. So in identification, that is where we majorly play a role. For the other two, is purely collaboration with the other stakeholders within the supply chain. So as we know, a supply chain has 3 or 4 moving parts, yeah? So the first part is the manufacturer, right? The second part is the distributor or the warehouse, in this case of the supplier. The third part is the retailer. For healthcare, it's the pharmacies and the likes and the chemists. And then finally is the consumer. So usually in matters traceability, it used to happen from the manufacturer and it ends at the retailer of the pharmacy. But essentially, it's supposed to be a closed loop. From manufacturer up to the consumer, and then backwards to the manufacturer, since the consumer will be able to give feedback on whatever they have consumed, you name it. So in this case, as I said, 3 things: identify, capture, and share. And I'll repeat again. So identification is where GS1 plays a major role in terms of the standards globally. When it comes to capture, capture is what we now use is the QR codes, the barcodes, and the like. So here is where now we have partners in hardware, the scanner, the printers, the labels, and also the things. So in collaboration, we have worked with all these other partners to be able to make these standards be captured well. We move on to the third bit, which is sharing. So in sharing, I can say the supply chain, it is neither here nor there, but as GS1, we're working effortlessly so that this data can be able to be shared along the supply chain among all the other players. And finally is the consumer. So the consumer needs to give feedback. So usually a consumer will give feedback to the person selling it. But in real sense, the person selling it is not the brand owner or the manufacturer. The brand owner is supposed to get the feedback, not the retailer or the supplier or the distributors. So this is where now we say if it is a closed loop, the consumer can be able to give feedback by sharing what was shared from the retailer and him or her sharing back to the manufacturer this information. So this is what we mean by collaborating between all the different players in all the supply chains and even in all the sectors, be it business, be it fresh foods, be it healthcare, be it logistics and transport, and also in the new upcoming sector, which is construction.
Wow, thank you. Brother, you have to say about fresh foods.
Matters concerning fresh foods, I'll just add that the grower, repacker, packer, distributor, wholesaler, everyone is a consumer, including a little born baby. Everyone is a consumer. So when you're speaking of collaboration, you're speaking about people with the same idea of engaging in traceability matters to have the same alignment to make everything traceable from its origin and to track it to where it's going. Yes, thank you.
Okay, I will start by saying that GS1 healthcare, the gospel language is patient safety. For us to achieve patient safety, like my colleague has said it, there are not three, but there are very many building blocks. In healthcare sector, we normally have the manufacturers, we have distributors, we have healthcare providers, we have even the regulators, among others, who plays a critical role in ensuring that we enhance patient safety within the healthcare sector. Now, like I've said, all of these people have to collaborate, and they have a role that interplays, in essence, that they have to come together to achieve this patient safety. For instance, now at GS1 Kenya, what do we do to collaborate with others? Number one, we as well do, we actively lobby, to maybe the government agencies and also non-governmental agencies, including the policy makers, to ensure that the policies they are creating also integrate the GS1 standards, which is very, very important. Once this is integrated within the government agencies, within the policy makers, what is the end game? We will enhance patient safety. And like I've said, our gospel is patient safety, and traceability without patient safety in healthcare, it is not achievable.
Okay, before I move on to my next question, I would like to inform you again that the chat box is open. They are ready. If you have any questions, type them out. I'll be sure to include them in my questions. So up next is that we know that the next big trend that GS1 is trying to push is the 2D, right? So I'd like you to speak on that. I know for Steve it's data matrix, so maybe he'll come later. So can you guys tell us more about the 2D and how we can bring this into our traceability methods?
So by 2027, GS1 globally and the world, we are looking at migrating to 2D. The code that you are currently seeing on the products at the point of sale, there is a 1D code, basically meaning that code cannot hold so much data. It's actually only holding the GT under it. But we are envisioning that we should actually transform as a body, but also transform our supply chain. So many consumers are asking so many questions. The other day I bought a fridge and I was wondering, how can I install this? You know, as gentlemen, we want to take find out, how can I connect this? But then through the 2D and the migration to 2D, manufacturers and partners and stakeholders will be able to share key information about the products they manufacture. You know, I personally am allergic to some things. I want to know, what am I eating? Is it having something that is allergic to me? But then how do I have that information? You find that another key area that we are looking at is the leaflets, the e-leaflets in pharmaceutical. You know, most of the leaflets that are currently happening in the drugs are small, and most of us will never read them. So we are trying to sensitize our members, especially under pharmaceutical, that there is a way you can be able to support your consumers to just scan the code and see more information. So the 2D is really going to transform, and we call upon everyone to please embrace this. Just go to your GS1 Kenya online self-service portal. You get where you pick your codes and generate your unique codes. There is a component where you are able to generate the 2D, and that 2D is not limited. It's the path or gateway to connect the physical product to the digital world. We believe that if our TVs are online, if our smartphones are online, we as individuals are online. Each one of us, I believe, have a social media account. Even that product you are producing should be online. There should be an online presence. And when someone sees the object in the physical world, it should reflect the same in the digital world. And how is that possible? Through the 2D. I believe my colleague here, who is the software developer, is going to explain further on how we are able to connect the 2D for the physical and the digital, through the digital link. So he's an expert in that.
Thank you for the praises. But how do we actually now connect 2D with 1D? I'm sure you're hearing 2D and the questions are there any 1D? Is there any 3D? Is there any 4D? Definitely it's there in graphic design, but in terms of GS1 standards or capturing standards, there is the 1D and the 2D. And if you were there for yesterday's presentation, the 1D was now the linear codes. So the linear codes are basically just the barcodes. So for that one, it can carry information but limited. But now we are transitioning to 2D. And in 2D, my colleague here said 2027 is saying, please mark your calendars.
Yes.
2027 will be moving to 2D fully. Be it the retail chains, be it all the other sectors, fresh foods, be it transport and logistics, healthcare, we are moving on to 2D. So we really want to embed these standards on all these other sectors. Now, do we do this? One way is we have a self-service online portal that will be able to for you to download the systems. But also on top of that, there is training for our members so that we can be able to understand this 2D, what exactly is 2D. And the 2D has very many various standards. So the most common ones are the QR code and data matrix, but they are quite a number. This forum is not, maybe it's a bit limited, but in smaller concentrated sessions, including with you, the members and even the non-members, we will be able to have a lengthy discussion with that, right? So in finalizing, I would like to say there's been this video trending on TikTok, yeah, of I'm a person of barbecue. I like roasting meat over the weekends, but then again, that's a discussion for another day. So they were scanning meat. They were scanning a kg of meat. So this meat had traceability standards. But to them, it was okay. Problem is they were using counterfeit barcodes, counterfeit standards, I would say like that. So they would scan the meat, and once they scan the meat, it brings up soup. And they would wonder, you are laughing, but it's a serious and they would wonder, are we really taking meat? Are we really taking, counterfeit products? Yeah. And that's what we're trying to actually just promote here. With the 1D thing, just show you the barcode and take you to some small details. But with the 2D, will show you very many more information that maybe you didn't have when you're purchasing the product. And I think with that, we'll be able to say that 2D is really key. Yes.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, well, Shamba Econet, an innovation for fresh foods, leverages so much on 2D. In that, when the grower is producing their produce, then the produce is taken to the logistics person, and then a person orders the fresh produce. When a person receives the produce, they are able to see all those details of traceability in the questions they ask themselves. Who grew it? Where was it grown? How was it stored? What pesticides were used? And many other questions that people have on traceability issue. So apart from that, also to add on the meat issue that there's also an issue of processed meat that does not really come from animals. You just go get meat and then also fruits. You like cut fruit and then it's not really the fruit itself. It's like a plastic kind of thing. So I'm pretty sure with the 2D leverage and GS1 standards, we will be able to cover all that and many more.
Okay, let's still go on the data matrix.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, like you said, healthcare is data matrix. Now, with the data matrix, it is important to note that it is a very good innovation in regards to that it holds a lot of information compared to the normal linear barcode, as said by Joseph. Why? Because with it can hold the batch number, it can also have the expiry dates and even the GTINs that identifies the product. Now, in number 2, data matrix is also critical in essence that in terms of printing or labeling on the products that is for pharmaceuticals, it is really good, and in terms of how we label it or print it on that, you print it on the cover of the product. The size is small and it can really fit well. Now, it also comes with error detection features. It is easy to correct the errors, especially errors made within the product. Now, apart from that, you also need to understand that there is a bigger picture of UDI. UDI basically means a unique device identification.
Data matrix plays a critical role in ensuring that we can trace the medical devices from the manufacturer up to the end user. Now, last but not least, we also use it in the hospital environment to identify patients. And also, like my colleague is handling fresh foods, I told you, patients also eat in hospital. They don't, they don't get hungry. So normally what happens, they are also able to know what they are eating. Are they eating what is genuine? Which is very, very important aspect within the healthcare environment. I know most of you in hospital, you will just be seated there, a soup is brought, you don't know who prepared this soup, you don't know which country it came from or which village it came from. So that is very, very important. So data matrix is a key driver within the healthcare.
Okay, thank you for that. I'd like to remind our participants that the chat box is open and you can ask as many questions as you want. And with that, I do have a question for Rhoda Freshfood, and it's from George Omodi. He asks, what are the costs involved on fresh food traceability and at the growers level or small scale?
So first, I'd like to say that GS1 Kenya Shamba Econet Innovation Platform, it starts from a small scale holder. A person who has like a small farm, 1 acre farm, whatever produce that you have is starting there. So for the cost implications in regards to the farmer, first, we need to confirm if you're having a farm so that you can ascertain. So secondly, we will walk with you throughout the way from the farming level up to when your products are getting sold up to the consumer's level. And this means that the farmer will be able to get value for their produce. It's not us getting the profit, but the farmers getting the value for their produce. This means that their labor will be handled and everything that they think their produce should give back to them, it will be settled in terms of them getting value. Yes.
Okay, thank you, George. I hope your question was answered. And if you do have any more questions, please ask. And if anyone in the panel wants to add more on that, please feel free to do so before we go to the next question.
Okay, just to add on to what my colleague Rhoda said, George, at GS1 through the industrial engagement and the fresh food department, we do reach out and sensitize you. First of all, it's key to first understand how am I going to achieve traceability. Yeah. So having given us the scope of what we are actually looking at, we ascertain what needs to be identified, you know, the land you are, because we have to assign you GLNs. GLNs are global location numbers. Yes. We have to identify that farm of yours so that it is unique in entire supply chain and ecosystem of the agribusiness. Then we're able to train you and your team on how GS1 standards are going to achieve this. So all costs should not worry you. Just reach out to us. We discuss further on this. I believe I would like to share the meeting with you along with my team. We come and have a session with you. It's really important to, and I'm glad that George is interested in this Shamba Connect and fresh food traceability. So George, reach out to us at info@gs1kenya.org, and then we shall be able to get back to you, and I believe we shall have a very great discussion on this. I'm so glad that you are interested.
Just to add to that.
Yeah.
To register on the platform is free. So much as cost to register on the platform is free for farmers and the other consolidators within the platform, right? It is free. So from there, what the cost implication will be is almost nil. It's just for you to be able to, as my colleagues have said, is the farm available? Is the farm in good condition? And all those other things. And also, as we know, some farmers are not IT savvy, so they might not be able to join onto this platform. So that hence we have farm hubs or consolidators to be able to come and assist the farmers and register on the platform, add the information, the inputs and everything. So such that once a product is sold, automatically the system will be able to channel funds back to the respective farmers and the respective parties within the platform.
Okay, thank you, Joseph. George, I'd like to tell you that we will reach out to you and we'll work with you through this process. Rhoda will be your point person. And even with that, you guys have seen participants. The more questions you ask, the more partnerships you get. So ask questions. Collaboration. You get a collaboration with GS1 Kenya and you have the key people who will be working with. They're the best. Now, to our next question, I'd like to inform you that we are almost ending the show. So if you do have any question, I strongly advise you to ask them now. Okay, so next, for businesses looking to improve their traceability practices, what key pieces of advice would you offer based on your experience?
So, basically, the question is for businesses that are looking at improving their traceability key practices.
Yes.
Okay, so I believe for us to do anything, awareness is key. And just like AI models are working, they're like babies. You train them how to communicate and understand how things run. So number one, businesses that are trying to improve traceability in their operations, I would call upon you. We need to offer knowledge, and Traceability Week is one platform we are looking at. But number one, I believe, is knowledge. When you are informed and know how the standards are to be implemented, is a step in the right direction. Then the next step, do involve your staff. Because the staff that are running these models and everything need to also be aware. And then even your key partners need to understand. Because it doesn't make sense, me as a manufacturer, implementing GS1 standards, and then along the supply chain, people are not using the standards. So awareness to me is the critical point, and that's why my department is in charge of trainings. I believe I'll be able to preach the gospel of GS1. We have so much material in stock, and I'll make each one of them a disciple.
Well, still I'll go back to when we started. How can you improve traceability within your organization, even on a personal level? How can you be able to improve traceability? 3 steps: identify, capture, and share. How identifying anything that you need to identify within your process chain? How are you capturing it after identification, right? And how will you be able to share data, either forward or backwards? Because traceability, it is not how you connect the dots moving forward, but it's how you connect the dots moving backwards.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for that question. So I'll just add on to what my colleagues have said by saying that we are the consumers. Even if we decide that we want to implement traceability measures in every aspect, and we don't use the traceability measures, there is no need. It is as good as not having them. So I'll call upon us to first take the initiative to need to know, where did this thing come from? Where is it headed? And did it go through the safe hands? And with that, if we are the first people to ask the question, where, how, who, when, and what, then we will be moving in the right direction. And as my colleague Nelson has said, there is training if you're in need for knowledge in regards to the industries, and you're welcome for us to move together with you.
Okay, in healthcare, solution is one. Partner with us. We will give you solution. And you will be able to partner with us, collaborate with us, and you will be able to enhance traceability within your organization.
Sure.
Okay, before I close the show, do you have any parting shots? Tell them to subscribe to Traceability TV.
Yeah, so my parting shots, I want to thank each one of you who has tuned in, given us your time to understand what GS1 does. We appreciate your business with us and the time that you really want your companies to evolve with traceability. Traceability is a very key thing because I'm also a consumer, and as I work with GS1, I believe the knowledge we have, people out there need to use it. I thank you so much for the staff of various companies that have logged in to join this session. Please subscribe to Traceability TV on YouTube. Thank you so much.
Well, first and foremost, thank you for gracing us with your presence virtually. It really means a lot to each and every one of you who is interested in matters track and trace. Traceability in general, but matters track and trace. We really don't take it for granted, and we're willing to work with you through the whole journey till you're able to be 100% ISO certified traceability. So, with that, I would just like to say thank you, and we'll hand it over to the next one.
Thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm calling upon for you, everyone, if you're having a farm, a small farm, let me come and see your farm so that we can know how to work this journey together. And in other aspects, I welcome you too, and we'll meet in one way or another, and I'll sure be of help. Thank you.
Okay, thank you once again for having us here as well, and also having your time to be with us. Number one, to our patients who are outside there, we are telling you that GS1 is providing a solution to ensure that that medicine you're being given is the right one and the right person is giving you that medicine. Manufacturers, GS1 is also there to ensure that you provide accurate information and you also get visibility about your product. Now, to the regulators, GS1 is also there to help you to fight counterfeit. Now, apart from that, we are also looking forward to collaborate with you, especially in healthcare, so that we can ensure that we enhance traceability and also patient safety. Last but not least, we are in Traceability TV as well, and I would love to say that this is also an important platform for you, you as a manufacturer, and this cut across all these sectors, whether you are in retail, manufacturing, or you are in healthcare or fresh food. You need to understand that this platform is also important for you. Why? Because we are doing this so that we can give you visibility on what you are doing there. Most of people don't know what you are doing, but when you come to Traceability TV, we show the whole world what is happening, what you are doing there unique. That means we are giving you visibility. So I'm also asking the participant, if you are also willing to collaborate further with the Traceability TV, you can also reach us out. We are willing to do the interviews for you. We are also we can also create for you the advertisement video, of course, at a little fee, but we can still talk about it. So with that, I think thank you so much. Subscribe.
Subscribe. Okay, maybe just to add, I'd like to remind you, if it is not safe, it is not food, and traceability is the future, and the future is here.
Wow, thank you so much to all my panelists. You guys are amazing. They've been quite engaging. And honestly, they have a wealth of information. We can stay here the whole day. But since it's time for us to go, thank you. This session wraps up the second day of Traceability Week. And I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. Your engagement, your participation, and just basically your attendance has made this day special. As always, I'm your host, Miriam Nyoki, and remember, Traceability Week continues tomorrow. So I'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. bright and early. Have a great afternoon. Bye. Bye.
Subscribe.